beautiful souls. I hope you're all doing amazing. My name is Selena Elamoon. I am the founder of the Soulpreneur Institute, and my work on this planet is to support other soulpreneurs who are here to thrive and to grow their concept and their business in a way that feels aligned to their rhythms, to their soul blueprint, to their awareness of who they are, how they came here to serve. And if you guys want to learn more about the type of work we do in the Soulpreneur Institute, go check out soulpreneurinstitute.com. You'll see that there is an option at the top there to get a sample class to see what kind of stuff we share and talk about in there. So you can get that class for free. It's completely available to anybody who hits up the website. So make sure you check it out. You'll probably learn a lot. That's from my New Earth Business Codes class. And I've got 28 of those codes, but there's just a little sampler of what specifically those codes are for you to step into as a New Earth business leader. So I'm just pulling some cards for you here. One of the things that I was getting just intuitively before even looking at any of these cards is that there is a very, very important window of time that is a window of opportunity for you right now. And if you take this opportunity that you have a small open window to walk through, this is going to be your game changer. And I'm getting chills just as I'm saying it. This is going to be your game changer. And the reason is because everything that you have done in your business up until now has led you to this very moment. And this very moment in time is it's going to make you, it's going to help you to get seen in the right circles. It's going to give you the confidence that you need. You're going to feel like a burst of confidence that's going to suddenly evoke words out of your mouth that it's almost like going to feel like you're just saying things. It's not rehearsed. It's not something that you have to like look off a script. It's literally just so natural for you to share. And as you share naturally, maybe you're going to be on a podcast, you're going to be speaking on a stage, maybe you're just going to be in front of a group of people at some kind of like networking event or something, and it's going to feel really intense. It's going to feel like, okay, this is where I meant to go. Like what the way that I'm hearing myself say these words, it's like it's giving you a feedback, right? And that feedback is making you realize that you have something really important that you're capable of sharing, and it's time for you to step up and share that. Now, I feel like this part of you was actually quite hidden before, but now it's like, no, it's go time, right? Like for me, like I've done the New Earth business codes, which are all in Soulpreneur. I've also done the New Earth wealth codes, which are also on the wealthcodeactivations.com and in Soulpreneur. And now what's sitting inside me and what's bubbling up are the New Earth Mama codes. And I'm not quite ready to jump into that space yet, right? But it's like I feel it. I feel it. And I've been kind of toying around with what that looks like and feels like because I'm a new mom and I still have so much to learn. And I feel like if I'm going to really tap into these codes, I actually have to tap into a part of me that is unfamiliar, right? Because I'm still new to this. So to create codes is requires my objectivity versus subjectivity, and it means I have to get out of my own way. And so one day, if I just started talking about it passionately and speaking to a group of moms, I would know like, okay, that's my next thing, but it's just not there yet, right? Okay, so let's go through these cards. So essentially what I'm getting here is that you've gone through a period of healing, that there's been something major that's come up for you, a blockage that has been revealed to you. I feel like you have had to turn away from something. And by turning away from something, it has created more space for you to consider your options, to consider where you want to go next, to consider what type of life and what kind of business you want to create that feels much more in tune with where you're at now, because it feels like a version of the business that you created before. It was like a replica of your old self, but now you're like this new self. You've gone through this whole journey. You've left something behind, which has been coming up in a lot of the readings in the recent past. And now you're stepping into this place of like, what do you feel? What is really bubbling beneath the surface for you? And you'll be able to feel into that when you take time to just go into a meditation and dream this beautiful dream, give yourself an opportunity to explore in your consciousness what's next. If I could just step into the next biggest thing that excites me, if I could just forget about everything that's happened in the past and not make that a blueprint for my future, what is this dream that is bubbling up inside me and what excites me? What is possible in my imagination? Because everything starts in the imagination first, right? So if you don't give yourself this opportunity to go into what are you feeling, what are you imagining, you can't just jump head first into the next thing because it might not be aligned with you. But when you take this step and this process to tune into your imagination, tune into how you feel, see what's resonating, that's where you're going to create from a beautiful alignment. And I'm getting that a win-win outcome is forecast. To me, this is just saying that you're not going to lose out. Like me, I feel like some part of you thinks that if you started imagining a new reality, a new business, a new goal, a new way of doing things, like some part of you feels like you're going to lose out on what you built, but you're not because you're going to win on both fronts. Okay. So whatever you created in the past, say that's really relevant to one audience, right? But now what you're creating is really relevant to another audience. So you can still put that out there, what you had going on before, but you just have to sustain it. You don't have to grow it, if that makes sense. Whereas this next thing, you got to build it, right? So it's like you're sustaining one thing and then you're building another thing. And this is where you're going to feel like you're not losing out on everything that you built, but you're still giving yourself a chance to move forward. Okay. And I'm just also getting this message here through the communication is key, is that you need to also let your audience, your team, your connections, your networks know what shift is taking place because it feels like there's some chaos in the field and that people are unsure how to work with you right now. There's like some uncertainty because you might have one foot in each, in two different places right now. But if you can come up with a strategy that says, okay, everything I've done until now, let's turn that into something that's, say, more automated, that's more systematized, and then the thing that you're building now maybe is more creative. And you're not quite at the place to automate or systematize it yet, but you're at the place to envision it, right? And this is how you're going to overcome this stress because it feels like you've been really stressed out about this because you feel like you've had to confront this part of you that maybe feels like everything was for nothing, but it wasn't. Okay. It really wasn't. Everything that you did is actually meant to be integrated into you now, right? This is how you're supposed to work with what you've created is integrate it. Okay. So for example, I used to run a personal training gym. It was just a personal training gym specifically. And from that space is when I leaped off and I started my spiritual business. And I just remember that at the time, I didn't really know what I was getting into. I had no idea, but I ended up just getting really passionate about like workshops and teaching. And this is kind of how it all started was I had this gym and I had these clients and then I also had trainers working at my gym and they had these clients and I said, why don't we just get together and have a talk? And I wanted to teach about a lot of the things that I was learning when I was like studying the work of Abraham Hicks and I was becoming an NLP master. And I just wanted to teach something. So I like brought all my clients together and all the clients and the trainers that worked at the gym that I started. And basically, we had an event, right? And at that event, I learned, oh my God, I love teaching. And so, funny enough, a couple years later, I ended up closing down the gym and I ran over, I think, 200 live events, retreats, workshops, you name it. I was running them. I was speaking on big stages. I was really talking at masterminds and things like that. I was getting invited internationally to go speak at other events. And it just became this passion that I had for a long time. And then I realized I had to go on a healing journey within myself if I wanted to continue. And so I ended up closing up shop and just taking everything within for a while. And then I started reemerging online versus in person, which gave me the opportunity to travel and meet my husband and have my daughter. So it's like Everything that I did, though, as a personal trainer got integrated so that I could be the person that I became, right? And that's what I'm trying to say is that you need to integrate what you've done and then participate with the world, collaborate with the world, go to events and talk about what it is that you're doing now. Go online and talk about what interests you. Go look for like-minded people and start having important conversations because right now there's this energy of suppression. And it's like there's this magical kingdom and it's living inside you, but there's like no outlet for it. And you need to actually go and you need to bounce ideas with off other people, and you have to like be willing to go outside your comfort zone and be really new at something at the same time to be able to grow and learn and evolve into the person that you are becoming so that you can run your business in this really interesting kind of way, right? And I think it's really fascinating. I'm just going to pull a couple more cards, but I think it's really fascinating the journey that we go through as soulpreneurs because a lot of the times when we build something, we have this like long like vision or dream for like where we want to go, and then it just ends up being like, oh, that was actually just the start of my my journey. It wasn't the whole journey. I was just seeing it from a limited perspective. And part of being an entrepreneur is just pivoting and knowing when it's time to pivot. And I've watched some beautiful people in my network pivot over the last couple of years, even just over my Facebook. And I've just been so amazed at like how quickly people are taking in new information and applying it, like building their own centers of sorts and retreats of sorts and connections of sorts that completely deviate from where they were before, but you can tell that where they were before built the foundation for where they are now. So the last message I have for you is to go beyond normal here. And to me, this card is like, don't do what everyone else has done and don't do what you've done. You have to do something that goes completely outside of your comfort zone, something that is making you anxious, maybe, because I'm feeling a little bit of anxiety, but it's essentially like a sense of really just jumping out and trying something radically new, even if you've never seen anyone in the world do it before. It's like you can do this. And I think that's really like the final closing message that I want to give you is that you might think that you can't do this because you don't have the tools, but when you're given the spiritual tools, those spiritual tools can actually be translated through into the emotional and into the physical just by grounding them, right? And grounding them is what this networking and talking about it and going into the world and studying it and examining it from a different lens and researching it and dreaming about it and feeling into it and all that stuff is doing for you. You really need to ground your dreams right now. And as you ground, things will become more clear to you because right now it looks like there's just some confusion, right? Because it's like you're leaving a whole world of what was familiar to you and you're stepping into this other world and it might feel daunting, but it's exactly where you're meant to go because you've already outgrown where you were. It's like it's just not bringing you the type of excitement that it once did, right? And it's really important that we keep shifting as soulpreneurs because otherwise, when we get really stuck or stagnant, what ends up happening is our boredom translates into our business, our passion is lost, and then we don't have that same degree of um, or that same desire to grow in that area, and we start losing business as well. So this keeps the flame alive inside you. It keeps people engaged with you in ways that are exciting. You got this. I'm just tuning in. I'm like, what else is there for you? You got this. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out soulpreneurinstitute.com. If you have any questions, you can always email me at the selenamoonproject@gmail.com. I'm happy to connect with you. If you want a consultation, reach out to me. I love doing business coaching, emotional, spiritual coaching is all part of it. I do energy work. I read Akashic records. I'm an intuitive. I can see into your business. I can find out what's blocking maybe some of the specific goals that you have and why they're not coming through. I can usually tell what energetics are taking place in your relationships that are interfering with those goals. So please do reach out to me if you want to connect with me over having a really deep experience so that you can step into your mastery as a business owner. Send you guys so much love. We'll see you next time.